Hi all, I was trying to work out, I don't want to do the acid version with the gold ripping off the chips. So I've got a Gremel, and I've got a hard drive cover thing. So I made up a metal case around the edge and an old TV stand. You can see all the gold's come off it. There's all the gold. You can see in the camera. Take some of that out. See all the gold's coming out. So I made up a box that goes around it. Before I worked out, see all my gold shaved off it. So I had 200 sticks, but I sold them on eBay accidentally. Till I realised I built this last week, the other day. So I put a box around it. You stupid me. See the gold chips? So I was trying to work out how to get the gold off the edge. I was thinking, I read the gold, these memory chips for fucking 10 years. Sorry for swearing, for 10 years. So I was trying to work out how to get the gold off the chips. So I stripped that one a bit. It's only a trial. See how it stripped the edge of the gold off? And then I edged on the edge of that. Don't know if you can see, but there's gold underneath that. Or is it? It's brass, I think. Yeah. So it's only a trial and error, but you can, if you can see, I stripped the gold off the chips, off the edges. So it's trial and error. So I've got 2 discs on it at the moment. So, and then when I put the Gremel on, I got from my hard drive on the computer. So I just got to sand down a little piece at the top there, so it sticks. So it's just a little bit of plastic underneath the sand. But I made it so it's flexy. So you can push on it, so it pushes down onto the blade, so you don't have to push too hard. So when the chips on top like this, so it just touches the gold strip. So it's basically, it's only out by a millimetre. So I might have to file the edge off and then put a thin layer of plastic and smooth that off, because it's got the pins underneath, so I can stick the gold chips. So I don't want to strip the rest, so I was trying to work out how. It just came to my head the other night. I was fiddling around. So you see the Gremel sits in. So I stick 3 onto that. The connection that goes on, you can stick about 3 blades onto this piece here. So I can make it slightly wider if I want. But if you can't really see, you've got to use a torch. So the wheel's just barely above it. So I can push down on the plastic and just slightly push the it's night time, so I have to do it. So once I fix this up to slide better, I can just slightly push down on it and it'll hit the wheel underneath. So then it'll only grind off that edge a millimetre. And then I worked out and put plastic this time now, because I stuffed it before. I just got to cover this in, this part. Cover this over with like a clear plastic if I can find some, so that any dust comes out. And I've got to maybe build an exhaust fan at the back here, because the dust comes off and I don't want to breathe it, because I tried and it coughed me bloody lungs out. Well, you can see tons of gold everywhere. So I worked out how to get gold off. It's just everywhere. Tons of it. Oh. It's between gold and brass. So, if you can see it in the torch. Yeah, this tons comes out of it. Look, that was just 1 chip. So I found out there's a hole down the bottom. And there's a hole under here I've got to fill up. But you can see the gold. So work out without using chemicals, I can basically strip the chips. So I don't need acid, really. I'm only taking the edges off where the gold is. So I just got to pre-adjust, maybe stick 3 blades on, or find where I can get a fatter blade. Like probably get a little grinding wheel, so it's probably what, 3mm thick, so that when I put it into the pin, so it doesn't line up. Misses out by 1 blade thickness, so it doesn't, just misses. It's about 1mm out. So if I stick 3 blades on it, or slightly push the Dremel forwards, maybe. So maybe that's just, I'll have to loosen that and then push it slightly forwards so I can line this up. So if I build a platform with adjustable up and down and back and forwards, like a table, or I can get a little grinding bench or something, like you do for woodworking things, modelling. So I have to look and see if I can find that. And then I can pre-adjust this up and down and backwards and forwards, and then smooth that out so that I can get just like a little planer, see? And then I just grind the gold off. And then I won't have to, so if I grind too far, I just chew all the rest off. But I didn't get all the way to the edge, see? You can see in the silly camera. So that's my idea. So if you want to strip the gold off these chips, you don't have to stick it in acid, because underneath there's gold in there probably, but I think it's brass. Don't know if you can see in the camera. I think it's brass underneath, copper. So underneath the green bit's copper and the edge is gold. So you don't really need to dip it in acid, do you? It's deadly if you do it. But if you want to like dip in acid to get into the chip pieces. But I was thinking, you know, like mining, you have like the cargoes. You fucked up here? Right. So, you know when you're doing mining and you got the drum with steel balls in to crush the ore, I was thinking, can you put the chips in and crush them with the steel balls and get the gold out of that way? But I don't have a steel ball crusher. So if I can put it into a machine with steel balls and just crush these to smithereens, it might work. And then whatever's the gold's in it, it's going to break out of it anyway, isn't it? And turn into a gold powder. But I haven't got a steel ball bearing crusher. So I can stick them in, or stick it into a, what do they call it, what do they call it? A shredder. So I can shred them down into smaller pieces and then stick them into a drum with steel ball bearings to crush them. Crush these into a powder. And then they extract the gold out of the powder then. So just pan the gold, the crushed materials, and pan the gold out. So I had 200 of them, but I sold them on eBay this week. And I've invented this 2 days ago. So if I knew that then I would have got the gold off anyway. Because I just could have went and grinded it on, just so it touches the wheel, see? If I push slightly on it, then it touches the wheel, and I could have ground the freaking gold off. Oh, but all the gold. But I missed out. Silly me for selling them. Well, I've invented this earlier. I've been right. There's gold powder everywhere. So if I sand all that off with a brush, I could have panned it and got the rest of the gold out. See that? Between the gold and the brass. There's tons. So now I just got to work out how to grind the chips on the CPU. So I have to make a new type of platform. So I was thinking if I put the CPU chip on and make it into like a wedge. So I need to make a platform for the chip to sit in and then have the wheel. So like an etching device. That's what I need, like a little wheel that's programmed to go etch, and then it can etch the top of the gold of the chips off. But I don't have a machine yet, or I haven't invented a machine to do it yet. I don't know if I can use CPU chips anyway. I did have one up here. I just don't know where to put it. I don't know. Yeah, I'll get an old one. Wait up. I don't have any CPU chips. Oh, yes I do up here. Is that one up here on there? I did have one on the computer I was playing with, but I don't know where to do with it. Where did I put it? Well, not on my computer now. Great. When you want something, you never find it. No. I've only got an old school one. I don't have a chip. I did have one on me somewhere. I was thinking like these 486s. These chips, the old AMDs. I've got heaps of these. But look. That's all gold. So I just got to work out how to build a device they can sit on and then etch itself around, and then just these ones you have to cut off first. But I'm thinking if I can build a device that has like a little grinder and it sits in a tub that it can go around and grind the CPU pins down. I'll have to see if I find a CPU. I did have some. I don't know where it went. I'm sure I had a chip up there. Oh yeah, there was one on the computer. Hey, no. Find the one for that. Oh, oh, fuck this one. Oh, found one. Two extra. Right, so the problem is the AMDs, the older ones, they've got the big pins, see? So I have to cut the pins off or grind them into a grinder. I was thinking of getting a grinder wheel and just grinding them off till I get to that gold layer. See it? Don't know if you see in the light because it's so bright. They've got all gold pins. Alright, so they're the old AMDs. And then you got the other AMDs like these. With the pins are gold too. But if I can grind the pins off with a grinder, so I have to make a box around the grinding wheel, and then I can build maybe a device to hold it so it can grind these pins down and get the gold off them. So they don't need acid, really. I don't know what's inside the chips. They're the AMDs, the newer ones, and then you got the Intel. This one's I have no idea, my glasses suck. So they're dual cores, but they're pointless to sell on eBay. So now I have to build a platform and some sort of etching device, or like a little ball bearing on the Dremel that I can go around program it, the computer, and it can etch itself around, and just enough to dig into millimetre and etch the gold off. See? There's not much gold on there, but it's gold. So now I have to find how to make a device, or buy one. It'll be enough just to cut the top of that by a millimetre or two across and around. Because I don't know what's underneath these things. There's probably gold in these little corner bits, see? But I don't know if there's actually gold inside them. Because they're glued on, aren't they? I don't know if you can suck this material in, so I've got to be careful. So if you know if I can breathe this stuff in, I don't think you can. So now I have to build another device, or some way get an etcher. It'll program and cut them out. So probably 200 or 300 CPUs, all types. So their pins are small. So if you can find the AMDs, these ones, they are the most gold. Oh, maybe see. So they're all gold pins, gold plated. See? Don't know. Alright. So yeah, they're the best chips if you can find. All the older versions. Very hard to find these days it is. Even though the AMDs. I draw something on it, I don't know what I draw it on. Yeah, I've got heaps of these. I've got tons and tons of these. The dual cores are useless. The gold's worth more than the fucking CPUs. Truly. There's more gold, the gold's worth more than the CPU's worth selling. Yeah, so the chips. So I worked out how to get it. There you go. So I can probably put it on there if I can build a platform. But I have to work out a different type of platform to put that on, so that I can just slide it across, and I have to build a different platform so that I can slide it across and back and forwards in a little square like that, so I can grind across and just grind the top of that off a millimetre, and you get the gold off it. Yeah. So if you don't want to stick your chips in acid and spend money and kill yourself, get a Dremel. I got one Dremels. And build a CPU thing. Oh, this is an old TV stand. I think it was a Sanyo or something. A steel one. So you can find a steel, it's a square box TV stand. It's heavy, so it doesn't move. I just got a styrofoam box and I collect the gold in and put some plastic on to keep the dust down. So I just got to sticky that down and cover this in plastic. And it's CPU hard drive thing. So there you go. So if you want to get the gold off without using acid, use a Dremel. Then you just sit there and cut them off, grind it off by a millimetre. So the wheel's just underneath that, so I have to actually push a little bit to get it to touch the wheel. So I don't have to put too much force, because if I worked out too much, I eat off all the material. It just falls apart anyway once the gold's gone. So I missed a bit. So that was me first try. But it'll yield a lot of gold out of it. Don't know if you can see, because it's dark. There you go. How to get gold without using acid. Alright, thanks for watching. Or if you want to see it working, I have to wait till tomorrow. It's 4 AM, so I don't think the neighbours will want to hear it. There's plenty of gold in there. You can see through the dust. And it's just one chip. The amount of gold that came off it. Not much, but it's better than nothing, eh? By the time you add all the acid and all the beacons and the special laboratory, the exhaust systems, and it costs you a fortune. Then you don't make money. So buy yourself a Gremel, whatever you call them. Buy a little a kit that does with blades, steel, little hard drive box thingy, old TV stand, and you're set. Probably what, $50 to $100? You can pick up one of these at a good price. TV stands, millions of them around the world. These things, find them online, probably a couple of dollars on eBay. So probably $100 to set up, versus probably what, $1,000, $2,000 to set up the professional acid bloody shit, and you can kill yourself with it. Wear a face mask with this because it's the dust, or put an exhaust fan or something, low volume, so it just sucks out the